Hey, everybody, we're going to look at the next section of our food life cycle, which is accessing and celebrating. So that means we're looking at the idea of, I guess, people gathering together and creating a sense of community around food at your school, potentially. So what would that look like?
Yeah, and so accessing food is something that is not just a nice to have. It's actually a necessity. Hopefully, that food is affordable. Hopefully, that food is nourishing. And not just physically, so like is nutritious, but hopefully also like food is so much more about nutrients, right? Like when you're excited to go to a restaurant, you're probably excited because it is, maybe a social gathering. It's an experience. You're going to try something new. Maybe you're going to a restaurant that is, making your favorite dish or has a particular type of cuisine that is, meaningful to you in some way. And so food nourishes us in a variety of different ways. And all of that is part of accessing and celebrating. And so, in a typical school, I think one of the questions you could ask yourself is, where is the food coming from now? If you have a cafeteria, that might be one place, but I suspect that there's probably also, vending machines, businesses in the surrounding area, that you maybe have access to. It's maybe food that you're bringing from home. So food can be accessed in a variety of different ways at a school. But I think we have an opportunity too to maybe like question or brainstorm new ways of accessing. I think the other thing too is that just because food is available doesn't mean that everybody can necessarily access it. And what I mean by that is most food is going to have a cost associated with it. And if you're hungry and you do not have, you don't have any money to buy it, then like that can also be a barrier. Or maybe you can buy the food, but the only food that you have available is, I don't know, junk food or food that,
Instant noodles.
yeah, instant noodles. And maybe you're absolutely tired of instant noodles and probably shouldn't be living off of instant noodles anyway.
Right.
Food is also like, it's super cultural. So does the food that you have access to, represent the culture of the folks who are at your school? So there's like a lot of things tied in with accessing and celebrating food. It's not just whether it's available or not, though that's obviously like an important place to start.
Yeah. Something else maybe to think about too is, where are the places in your school where people gather and eat? So eating is an act which is very social. So there are cafeterias. Sometimes maybe the layout of the school is maybe older, and the layout is such that it's difficult for lots of people to gather in one spot to eat. And so maybe there are pockets around your school, and that's going to have an effect on your school culture as well. Something else to think about would be, does your school celebrate food and the food of different cultures? I know that there are a lot of schools who have cultural celebrations that involve food. Edmonton is renowned for its Heritage Festival that happens in the summertime, where there are literally, I think, over 100 tents representing different nations, and everyone brings out cultural elements and cultural foods, and everyone can experience that. So I think that's something that's kind of been taken on by a lot of schools as well. So maybe that's something that you can think about for your school too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then our question, what if accessing and celebrating food was part of school culture? So how might that impact your school culture? What are some ways, maybe if this question speaks to you, what are some ways that you could maybe think to encourage that? And what are the positive things that can come from that? And how does that help to answer our bigger question of, how can our school community be a place where we address issues of food insecurity in our greater community.